Hey, this is Brant, Glad Hand Insurance. Today's topic, hauling over-dimensional loads. I'm not a big fan of hauling over-dimensional loads. I've had to do it a few times and it seems to be more trouble than it's worth. I know there are a lot of truckers out there do very well with over-dimensional loads. They tend to have clients and have a little more upfront information earlier than when you get a load off of the spot market. Generally, my over-dimensional loads that I had were when the brokers didn't give me all the information. I'm not sure if they knew or didn't know. They sit at a desk. I don't know if they even understand what we do. But I had my first over-dimensional load. Well, let me back up. I hauled a lot of equipment. So like a D3 dozer, I would hang over a couple inches each side. The DOT never bothered me with that. One time I thought they would. I pulled onto the scales and the DOT officer came out and approached me, and he just wanted to see my cab card. I was hauling really heavy. He just wanted to see if I was authorized for the weight I said I was. But I went into, I think it was West Virginia, and I went to go pick up a dozer in West Virginia. And when I got there, the mechanic didn't have the dozer ready yet. It was still being worked on. It was a resale for me to transfer to a construction company in North Carolina. So I had to wait around for 3 hours, and I'm getting nervous because they had a firm closing time, and they just told me that if it wasn't right, I had picked up the next day, which I was so far. I think it had to be West Virginia. I was so far away. There's no where else am I going to get a load at that time or next morning, next day. So I waited nervously, and the mechanic did finish. Brought the dozer out. I had, and generally on equipment, you have to load it yourself. So I loaded the dozer onto my trailer, but as soon as I saw the dozer coming in, it had a 10-foot blade on it. So I'm clearly over dimension, nearly 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm like, what am I going to do? So the sales guy had a company that would pull permits, and he made a phone call, and I forget the name of the company. Ruben was the guy that worked with me. He was really good about pulling the permits for me. But the crazy thing is that as soon as they were closing, they were closing. They're going to lock the gate, and I'm doing everything. I didn't even have time to chain the dozer down. But there was a lot across the road from the place I picked the dozer up. So I just drove over there, finished securing it, putting on my flags and my strobes, and but it's starting to get dark. And one thing that or realize is that when you're driving over dimensional loads, when it's dark, you have to come off. So I was there 3+ hours than I planned on. Didn't know the route. I'm really desperately to get off, somewhere where I can find a place to park for the evening, so I'm not on the road. Well, you follow the directions on the route that's planned out for you, and just as I was crossing into Virginia, there's a sign saying all over dimensional loads must check in. For the bridge, didn't have any shoulders, so you would have to schedule, and they wanted 24-hour notice. Well, that wasn't me. And so what do? One thing is you have to wear a business hat. There's a driver hat, so I had to make a business decision. So I blew past the checkpoint, went across the bridge, because right as soon as you get across the bridge, you're in Virginia. So I'm thinking like, well, I don't know if they'll have any authority or not to come after me. By the time I stop, I'll make sure I'm in the next state. They didn't come. So, that got through that. And then, but it's getting close to dark. So you're stressed over that. And then, so I pull in, I find a place to park, and then I finished looking over my routing. Well, next morning you wake up, but I can't go anywhere because you're not allowed to go through Richmond, Virginia during rush hour. So I have to hold off until rush hours finish so that I can get through Richmond. So that's the big problem when you have over-dimensional loads. You have a lot of restrictions, not driving at night. I had the bridge, can't go through cities during rush hour. You can't deviate from the route that you file with the permits. You have to get the permits. It all takes time and money. And brokers on the spot market, the load board, they don't pay very well for all that hassle. Now that load did pay me, for me as a HotShot, $295 a mile. Made a couple thousand miles just bringing that dozer into North Carolina. But I generally, as a rule, I did not do over dimensional loads just because of all the restrictions, especially wintertime. You have less daylight hours. So for me, I did haul a couple of over dimensional loads, but because of all the steps you have to go through, all the restrictions you have to abide by, I chose not to really haul over dimension unless I absolutely had to, and they had to pay me very well for it. This is Brant, GladHandInsurance.com. I'm an independent insurance agent and would love to partner up with you for your insurance needs. If you get a moment, please visit my website, GladHandInsurance.com. Love to talk with you. Thank you.